This is my Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix experience. I beat the game for the first time this month, and I have quite a few scattered thoughts and feelings regarding my experience, and I thought I would share that and kind of just go through my scattered thoughts, per se, regarding the game and kind of how I felt. I'm playing the entire series through. I've been the first game. I played Region of Memories years ago as a kid, and I'm currently playing Birth by Sleep. So the second game has left like a huge impression on me. And I was just like, man, I want to share this with everybody else because I know a lot of people really like it. So I just want to take some time out to talk about it. So for starters, it's important for me to acknowledge the fact that Kingdom Hearts is a series I've actually played as a kid, and it was my introduction actually to Final Fantasy. So I didn't really know Squall or Cloud or anybody from their own personal games. I kind of found out about them playing Kingdom Hearts, and during that time, Kingdom Hearts One was out. Kingdom Hearts Two was coming out, or I think it had just come out, and my brother had Kingdom Hearts 1, and I would just kind of sit and watch him play. And I remember just being enthralled by the worlds, the way everything looked, seeing these Disney characters interact with Cloud and everybody else. It all seemed so surreal to me. And Kingdom Hearts 2 is, I think, for most people, the best game, honestly. Like, if you were to sit and think about it, I think I'm comfortable saying that's probably the most well-liked Kingdom Hearts game. I was looking on reviews online, and most people agree, right? Like Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best game in the series. So when I came into it, I was like, okay, this is where the game apparently peaks, and I was really excited for it. And I'm glad to say that everything I heard is true and more. Yeah, so I guess I want to start off by talking first about the gameplay, the combat, which I think is the best part about Kingdom Hearts 2. You see, I really like the combat system in Kingdom Hearts 1. I love the combat system in Kingdom Hearts in general. I think it's one of the most well thought out and well executed action RPG gameplays. And when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 2, they took everything that made Kingdom Hearts 1 fun, but just increased it by that much more. It was much more smooth, quick, and some people are going to say it's button mashy. I don't know why, for starters, that would be an issue in the first place. Who decided that every game has to be like a strategy and super strategic? Like, why does it matter if a game's button mashy? What matters is how well has it been executed. And I'm glad to say that Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of the most well executed combat systems in any action RPG. Again, it's smooth, it's fast, it feels intuitive. Like when you just play it, the characters move quickly, the animations are perfect. And one part I think, or rather, one thing I think is kind of maybe not underrated. I think we all rate it quite highly, but we tend to not speak of is this UI design and sound design, which I think is integral to the enjoyment of any game, but especially it matters a lot to me in the combat system. Maybe not so much the UI, but if there's an HUD there, if there's a UI over there, I think it matters. And Kingdom Hearts is a master of UI and sound design. I mean, the the way the characters move, and then of course the sounds that the heartless, or rather the keyblade hitting the heartless, make, the actual sound design of just running through the commands, the way the commands look and how it changes depending on which world you're in. I think that's just, I love it. I mean, it makes the game that much more uh, it makes it that much more charming, and that's the best way to describe Kingdom Hearts. It's a very charming game, and I'm sure most people would agree. But I really love the combat system. And again, going back to the critique that it's a bit button mashy, I don't know if I would even agree with that. You have enemies who, you can only fight them depending on your stance or your position. You have to go behind them. Some enemies are up in the air, and you could only attack them by going up into the air, executing a combo and keeping it there, or using a magic, right? And then the boss fights especially are not button mashy. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just don't think it's true in general. I think it's really well thought out, quick paced, fast, action packed gameplay. I love the keyblades, the different combos. You have all these different abilities that you can accessorize, add onto your character as well, which just makes the game so much fun. like in a lot of ways that's the role-playing aspect of Kingdom Hearts, right? Like where does the RPG element in Kingdom Hearts come in? It comes into the customization with the keyblades and how your character, how Sora, and you could even customize how all the other side characters play who are in your party as well. So in general, I think the combat system is the best. I'm playing Birth by Sleep, and I like it. At first, I didn't like it, but now I'm kind of like, okay, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun. But I don't think there's any competition, any comparison at all between Kingdom Hearts 2's core core combat system and Birth by Sleep's. So now that I've kind of talked about the combat, I want to mention the story, which, this is like light spoilers. I'm not trying to, when I say light spoilers, I mean kind of like the gameplay footage you see. Um, a lot of it is like maybe some of the later dungeons, but as far as actual story goes, I'm not going to really spoil much because I'm sure by now a lot of people have played the game anyways. Um, but I want to say one thing, which is that the story is, in Kingdom Hearts in general, is considered very, you know, a common complaint about Kingdom Hearts is it's so hard to understand. It's this, it makes no sense. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's complex. I think it's convoluted. I don't think it makes no sense. I don't think that you can say that about Kingdom Hearts. It makes sense. The one kind of, the one thing I could tell you that hopefully will make it a bit easier on you understanding the story in Kingdom Hearts, because I pretty much get it. Just take when the characters talk about heart and dark and light and dark and the darkness in your heart, take it literally. In this game, there is no metaphor. They're not being metaphorical about the darkness in your heart. No, no, it's a legitimate thing, and I think that's where kind of people get mixed up. Where, oh, the heart has heart left, and we think of the heart, the organ, but in this game, the heart is like a literal thing, outside of just being an organ. It's like a metaphysical concept in Kingdom Hearts. And once you understand that, to me, it makes the story a lot more simple. Maybe not simple, it's still complex, but you can kind of understand it at that point. But aside from that, another thing, Ansem reports. Read your Ansem reports. There is no excuse not to. They really help make the the motivations of the villains make more sense. It kind of explains the world a bit more. I think one of the more confusing parts about Kingdom Hearts is Ansem, Xehanort, Xemnas. How do they relate and all that? Uh, and I do think the Ansem reports help that quite a bit. Um, but yeah, in general, I really like the story of this game. I think it's probably the best thus far of the Kingdom Hearts I've played. Um, it's it's interesting in the sense that you start off the game with Roxas, right? And at the end of the game, when you kind of realize the truth regarding Roxas and Sora and their relationship, it it feels. I mean, at the end of the game, I cried. When they had Utada Hikaru's Sanctuary with the piano playing, and you had Sora look at Kairi, and Sora, you see Roxas flash over, and for Kairi you see Namine flash over. I thought that was just so beautiful, and especially knowing the story of Roxas and the story of Namine and how they're connected. um, Kingdom Hearts is really, it's so good at those emotional connections between characters and making you feel what the game is trying to make you feel. It's really good. This is definitely a feels over reals type game. It's more so how you feel at the end of it, more so than what you think, because at the end I was still kind of confused about a couple of concepts and stuff in the game, but the execution of the emotional aspects of this game are always top notch, so I can't complain there. And I love Roxas as a character. I love Sora as well, but Roxas to me, best character in the series, and this is where he's introduced, so we have to give it some brownie points, right? But in general, I don't think the story is as complex. It's complex. What am I talking about? It's not as nonsense as people will say. It's complex. It's convoluted. It's complicated, but it's not necessarily nonsense. You know what I mean? Kind of the last thing I wanted to bring up was the Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is quite important. And the worlds, they have a few new worlds that weren't in the first game, but I'm just gonna be honest, I kind of like the Disney worlds in the first game better. They had Peter Pan, they had Tarzan, they had a couple that weren't in this game. This game has, it introduces Pirates of the Caribbean, which is, I think, kind of like the main gimmick one they were trying to push in this game, and it kind of plays more importance than the other worlds. I thought it was well done, but I just hated the enemy designs, like those pirates that turn into zombies and you can't hit them until they revert back or something were just incredibly annoying to deal with. But in general, I like the Disney worlds. They take about an hour to complete, and I remember beating them the first time. I was like, "Is that it?" It felt kind of short. But then it turns out that later in the game you have to come back and do extra episodes, which help make the worlds feel a bit more fleshed out than before. And when it comes to my favorite world in this game, I probably have to say Nightmare Before Christmas. I love the snowy aspect of it all, and Mulan too, which is a new one in this game. I thought Mulan was well done as well. But for the most part, I think I just like the first game's Disney worlds more. Well, that's not to say these ones are bad by any means. Again, once you are like mid halfway through the game, half end. Once you're like past the halfway point, and you kind of have to, or maybe it is a halfway point. You have to kind of go back to the worlds and do extra episodes. It made me feel a lot more positive. Before I was like, this is too short. It just feels very simplistic, and of course they are, right? The main story in this game aren't the Disney worlds. It's everything that happens outside of it. This is just kind of like a detour, get some gameplay, stuff like that. But yeah, the Disney worlds in this game are fine. No issues for me. After finishing this game and kind of just having my scattered thoughts, I really love this game. It touched me emotionally in a way that not many things can. When I saw the ending and I saw Sora reunite with Kairi and the song Utada Hikaru playing in the background, it was like wow, it was um it was really touching in a way. And I kind of know now why this game for so many people holds such a special place in the hearts of many. It's such a beautiful uh, game, beautiful ending. The characters, the things they go through, Riku, Sora, Kairi, Roxas, Namine, the way they're all entangled, uh, all of that. There's one scene that I especially love, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but Sora's getting on the train, and a single tear falls, and he doesn't know why. That was such a brilliant scene. If you think about it, everybody in this game is just kind of lonely in a way. They want to form bonds in this game, bonds and heart and light and darkness. The overconsumption of light itself can be a bad thing in this game. So it's really fascinating in that sense. It's all about sort of the bonds the characters are making throughout the game, how they try to sustain them, right? That's kind of Axel's main theme of his character, which is, uh, the friendship that he forged and the way it was broken, and trying to keep it alive or try to restore it. So in that sense, Kingdom Hearts really blew me away. The combat system, again, phenomenal. The UI design, I think, in Kingdom Hearts in general is probably one of the best things about the game. I think it's so underrated, or rather, not talked about enough. The sound design, again, the simple, the sound that it makes when you walk, just walking, the sound of that the magic makes, the sound that hitting a heartless make, all of it is just it's just so well done. The sound hitting an enemy and all that. It's just uh, it's really charming. It's very Kingdom Hearts-ish, and the fact that you could hear something and immediately equate it to something kind of explains that it's quite iconic in the sense that it's something that you can immediately recognize, and Kingdom Hearts is one of those things. Um, I love how the HUD, the UI of the battle menu, how it changes depending on which Disney World you're in. I thought that was so charming. It's so cool. But yeah, that's kind of my scattered thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Battle. That's my feelings on Final Battle, Final Mix, um, and how I feel about it in general as a game, and how I enjoyed it. I love it, and I'm playing Birth by Sleep right now. Should have that done not too long, maybe by next month. It's currently June, so in July I should have Birth by Sleep completed. But yeah, just a wonderful game, and I want to know how everybody else feels. I want to know if it's a game that's touched you really emotionally as well, whether you liked it, you didn't like it. Let me know all of that in the comments below, and see you in the next one. Peace out.